Several years ago, I was on a student mission trip and I was having some quiet devotional time before the day began, and I was actually on top of a mountain overlooking this forest where I could see just endless forest for hundreds of miles. And while I was having this quiet devotional time, God struck me with two distinct thoughts. Number one, no matter how big one tree gets, no one tree makes a forest. But number two is that that entire forest at some point started from just one tree. And so it hit me that no matter how big one church gets, no one church can reach the entire valley for Jesus. But I realized that one church could start other churches that start other churches, and ultimately that a forest or a grove of churches could transform the valley with the message of the gospel.
The lead pastor of Mission Grove Church, John Craigle, and I used to work together in a different church. And he came to me one day and he said, "Hey, you know what? I've had this thing in my heart. I've wanted to plant a church forever." And he said, "I'd like you to come along with." And at that point, I was like, man, I don't know if I can, because I have two girls that are in my ministry, my own girls, and it wasn't the right time. But of course, like God does in his own way, he started pulling at my heart and trying to, I was just having all these conversations, all these thoughts, and so then I started talking to my family, and I started talking to John, and here I am now. Now I'm the family pastor at Mission Grove Church.
One of my favorite things about Mission Grove is that, simply put, we are for the community. We actually came in slow, we came in a humble stance, and we just started going to meetings. So PTO meetings, homeowners associations, we joined the Chamber of Commerce, and we just listened to what does our community need and how can we come alongside them. So rather than filling up our church calendar with a bunch of church events, we actually came alongside the school and the Aviano community and Desert Ridge at large, and now we actually help them put on their events. So for example, for 4th of July, we actually handed out 2,000 water bottles to the people in the community.
When we're teaching anything, we always want to make sure that not only are we teaching the word, but that whoever we're teaching it to, they can actually absorb it and use it in their everyday lives, right? So that's one of our biggest goals in children's or students or college, whatever we're looking at, is to be able to live it and to be able to use it on a daily basis.
It's been beautiful to understand that the church is much bigger than a building or much bigger than one local expression. And so we've had the joy of connecting with other churches and organizations and the schools, and to just come alongside them with the unifying factor of the love of Jesus. And so it just opened our eyes to what the church could be, and just how the message of the gospel, the message of the love of Jesus, really transfers in all spheres of life.